and welcome to the Cryptid Hour. This is the first one that I'm going to be putting out. It is pre-recorded, and yeah, this is it. So I'm not sure if it's going to last for an hour. It might last for 2 minutes. It might last for 3 days. But anyway, going to start with this guy. Don't know if any of you have heard of him, but here he is. I'm going to be talking about the Moon Man, which is a UK folklore entity. It was big in the 70s and 80s, but there is a bit of a twist of this towards the end. It might not be all that it seems to be. So, there's a humanoid male figure, and his head or face was resembling the moon, pale, smooth, luminous, and sometimes crater-like, often emotionless or expressionless, seen at night or during the twilight hours, silent or speaking very little, never acting or never attacking directly. So his appearance is followed by bad news, death, disaster, or irreversible loss. This places him firmly in the category of an omen entity, not a physical predator. So it's a harbinger of doom, I suppose. Now, all the cryptids that I'm going to be talking about are going to be UK based. So England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, British Isles, Isle of Man, Jersey, Guernsey, and that. Everyone talks about the American versions, i.e. Bigfoot, Sasquatch. I'm not going to be doing Loch Ness Monster, anything like that. I'm going to be doing, as long as I can get information, people's accounts. It could be creepypastas. It could be anything. But anyway, this week I'm doing the Moon Man. So, geographical spread. So the location of where he's been seen. So northern England, Yorkshire. So on the moors, isolated roads, on the edge of villages. So where there's very little people about, not in big like cluster zones of city centres or anywhere like that. He's always seen and he's watching from a distance, and it's always followed by accidents, sudden illness, or death in the community. Lancashire has been seen on canal paths, mills, and rural outskirts, associated with industrial accidents, family tragedies, and livestock loss. Then we move to the southwest of England. First of all, we're going to do Devon, then Cornwall. So in Devon, Dartmoor-type landscapes out on the moors, sightings before disappearances, suicides, or things that go wrong all at once. And then Cornwall, you've got cliff tops, coastal lines, tin mining regions. Moon Man appears before storms, deaths at sea, or family misfortune. This wide but selective spread is important. Not that isn't urban or random and not everywhere, only where folklore already treats the land as thin. So there's already stuff going on there, and then this Moon Man kind of like appears and all weird shit starts going on, and bad weird shit. So yeah. So the behavioural pattern of all this, which is a big key to what exactly is it's going on. So unlike Bigfoot-style cryptids, the Moon Man follows a repeating omen cycle. So witnesses often see Moon Man when they're alone or during an emotional stress or uncertainty. So when they're going through some kind of emotional trauma, they feel immediate unease, like something's not right, and the night felt wrong. These are what witnesses have stated when they've had these encounters with him. And then within days or even weeks of their encounter, there's been a death in the family, there's been a serious accident, financial ruin, sudden irreversible events, something so bad that it's going to stick with you forever. And in many accounts, the witness does not suffer directly, they become the messenger, not the victim. So they're stuck in the middle. They're the one that's witnessed the moon man, and then all this stuff starts falling about around them, and it's happening to other people, and they're like they're the key connection between him and them. So this is a classic British omen folklore behaviour. Now this is where it goes all weird. So why are there never any clean police files or named witnesses? And this will explain a lot and strengthen the case rather than weaken it, believe it or not. This is what I thought when I was first reading all this. It's like, surely this is just going to make it like someone's making shit up, but listen to what he said. So omen entities are rarely reported officially, often shared privately within families or villages. Treated as shameful or taboo knowledge, only discussed after the event happens. So no one talks about. It's like when you have, like I've had UFO encounters. You don't talk about it straight away. It's always afterwards when something triggers it. It's not like, oh, you never guess what I just seen. I think because you're going to a lot of ridicule and everything that goes along with it. But then, are they just linking Moon Man to a bad event? Is it coincidence that these two things have happened at the same time? And as a lot of you know, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in synchronicity. So, two totally different things. But I ain't talking about that today. This is, people don't report, I saw a man with a moon for a head, because imagine how ridiculous, even me just reading that out, that's that. If you're walking down the street and you see it and then you go on and go, you never guess what I just seen? I just seen a man with the moon, with a head like the moon. Like, you'd be like, yeah, right, what have you been drinking? So it doesn't. And then if you're going to report it to an official, like the police or someone else in authority, then it's just going to sound ridiculous. But this is what they do report. Something bad happened, and then we remembered what we saw. So it's always past tense. So they have this spate of bad news, irreversible bad news, and then it's like, oh, but didn't we see the guy with the moon for a head? So they're linking the two together. That memory becomes oral tradition and not a case file because it is never reported. It's only ever spoken about, as I said before, amongst groups, families, private conversations. Maybe if you live in a village and everyone talks to everyone, who knows? I've never encountered him, so I don't know if anyone has. And if you have, please do contact me, Andy at alienate.uk. And if you can shed some light on any of this, or leave your thoughts in the comments below. So next, folklore classification. What the Moon Man really is. So the Moon Man fits multiple established British folklore types. Death, Herald, Arch, the Black Dog, the Grey Man of the Highlands, Corpse, Candles, the Fetch. So these entities, they don't kill, they announce what is coming, and they appear natural, not evil, just like some sort of messenger type being. And there's a lot of lunar symbolism to this as well, especially in the British folklore. The moon governs, so madness, tides, fate cycles, death and rebirth. So obviously the badness compared to lunatic. Apparently the moon controls the tides. And then you have fate cycles, you have female cycles that I'm not going to go into, which is 28 days, same as the lunar phase. And death and rebirth. A man with a moon head is symbolically a human form possessed by the cosmic. So, why the Moon Man resurfaces in the 70s and 80s, 1970s and 80s, that is. This lines up disturbingly well. That period saw decline of rural industries, community breakdown, increased isolation, cultural anxiety, rising interest in folklore, UFOs, and the paranormal. All stories re-emerge during stable times. People don't invent omens, they remember them. So, the Moon Man is not a monster that attacks people. he's something worse. He turns up to let you know what's coming that cannot be stopped. Why modern versions feel off. Modern portrayals often make him helpful, give him backstory, turn him into a character. Traditional Moon Man folklore, he has no origin story, no motive, and no explanation, which is exactly how real omen folklore behaves. So that is pretty much the Moon Man. He turns up when shit's going down, and once you see him, you know something bad's going to happen in or around your life. It's just the way that it is. But going back to the very, very beginning, it may not be what I've just said it is, because something else came to light when I was doing the research on this. So the Moon Man usually refers to and why your memory will fit and remember exactly what I've just spoken about. Most of everything that's currently online about the UK Moon Man is tied to the British Cryptids 1974, a production that presents itself like a lost 1970s schools TV documentary, but is proudly treated as a mock fictional format by commentators and genre press. 14 times explicitly describes Winnie Moore as producing the short 1970s style documentaries and refers to them as mock TV series. A culture write-up also frames British Cryptids as an unbroadcast 1970 TV series for schools uncovered by Winnie Moore, presented with a knowing wink. So the Moon Man episode's own public blurb language describes him as the cursed soul of a once revered guide who knew the treacherous moors, and related promo snippets talking story about incidents such as a Moon Man helped ramblers lost in the Peak District in 1971. Separately, Moon Man is widely used as a nickname for Mac Tonight, the McDonald's moon-headed mascot from the late 1980s, which has its own later internet history baggage. This can also muddy memories of a man with a moon for a head. Witnesses, dates, times, places, and locations is readily available on the internet, but they cannot give direct information from these people because nothing was ever logged. People have come forward and said that they've had encounters with the Moon Man, but there are no names. Like I said, no names, dates, anything, locations were ever recorded other than on the moors in Lancashire, in Yorkshire, in Devon. It was just seen and people have just spoke about it. Nothing was ever documented. So it's a modern folklore stroke analog horror presentation that supplies case-like details in the world. It could be a pop culture moon-headed man. So to get actual witness accounts, you'd have to do a lot more digging to find out exactly what was going on and who it was that was having these encounters. And then to find these people is going to be another long-winded research thing on its own. It's just, I've never known anyone to talk about it, come up with it, or anything resembling any of that. But there are claims commonly attached to the Moon Man story, and it's same again, people on the moors, remote lanes, on their own, out in the dark, in the middle of nowhere that come across it. So are they having some sort of hallucination? Is the mind playing tricks on them? They've been out for God knows how long, maybe dehydrated, I don't know, tired, delusional. It could be anything, and it's just, like I say, the mind playing tricks on them. But people have said that this has happened, but they've also said it after something bad has gone on. So could it be, as I said earlier, something bad's happened and then it's like, oh, but I did see this weird thing? Or are they just, is it a false memory that they think they've seen it? I do not know. I've not seen it. I don't know anyone who has encountered it. But this is who he is, apparently, and if you ever encounter him, then something bad's going to happen. I suppose it's a bit like the Hat Man. You see him, and then you get bad news, like pretty much direct. He doesn't do anything to you himself, but then something bad always follows. So, could he be real? I don't know. That's all I've got. So make your own decisions. Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. Or if you have an encounter with him, you can email me direct at alienate.uk and then we can go from there. So hope you enjoyed this episode of The Moon Man. Please come back next time when I'll be talking about another lesser known UK cryptid.